RBO. Today, guys, we have the Coleman Survival Kit. I went ahead and made a survival kit out of the Coleman First Aid Kit. It's a waterproof, glow-in-the-dark container. And yeah, let's get into it. First, you have these four little latches? Lasps? For some reason, I want to say lasps. But latches, I guess. And yeah, and you have a rubber seal around here, so it is entirely waterproof. Just to keep up moisture, you could always add oxygen or moisture absorbers, the little packets. Right on top, we have our survival card, just out by itself. And this is mostly here for the hooks. You'll see why later. It also has a spearhead or a fork, 2 needles that sometimes I do be oblivious to and don't mention, 2 line collectors, and then 1 arrowhead. Cool little card. You can find these on Alibaba and AliExpress for very cheap and in bulk, so you can put them in multiple kits. Here we have 2 water collection bags. I believe these are the quart-size bags. A little bit of the adhesive from the sticker still on there, so it does tend to stick, which is fine. Here we have our first aid kit. In here, we have a plethora of little bandages for blisters. We have some of the larger bandages. Good amount of these, because you know you always get cuts and scrapes on the trail or wherever you are. We have 2 cough drops, so maybe you're out there and even you're just out there for 2 nights and you just have this kit with you while you're camping, and you wake up one morning a little groggy, bust these out, and you know you're thankful you have it. Here we have 2 antiseptic wipes, cleaning up wounds, or even sterilizing using needles, which you can just do that with later though. Here we have triple antibiotics, 2 ointment packets of those, 2 sting relief pads, and then just a few of these little band-aids for little nicks, mostly like thorn spots where you got it pretty good. Okay, next, I have one of the main items of our kit, our knife. This one also has a glass breaker and a cordage cutter, or a seatbelt slicer, whatever you want to call it. We have a little bit of a serrated blade here, and that's a straight edge, so on. And it's a good knife. It's got a good grip up here where you can put your thumb, and it's got a good upper strength on that. Yeah, good little knife. It's got a good little spring to it. Sometimes it does tend to not want to like latch in all the way, which is kind of dangerous, but since I started using it more, it has not done that. Here we have a very simple sewing kit, which is just a needle and thread. We have 1 needle with this, and we have 2 more needles with our survival card. And here we have about, let's see, 7 normal matches and 3 stormproof matches with a striker and a sealed Ziploc bag. Great to have choices for fire starting. If you guys notice in all my kits, I usually try to have more than 1 way of starting fire, because I just feel like that's a huge necessity. Here we have our Frontiers water filtration straw, or drinking straw. I went ahead and cut that down. And yes, in this kit, it actually was space saving, so cutting it was useful. That's why I always cut my straws. No need to have them that long. Here we have a signal mirror made out of the top of a camo face paint, like hunting pack. And I just went ahead and just tore it off the bottom as soon as it ran out. And yeah, you have a little signal mirror. Next, we have a little wire saw. You need to cut some wood for shelter making, fire, anything like that. You're making a splint. Here we have our water purification tablets. So you can go ahead and take water with you. You don't have to use your straw. You can just pop these in there, let it purify, and you're good to go on the trail. And you can just have that purifying with you. And then you can just drink it right out of the bag when it's done. Or 30 minutes later, I believe. Here's our ferrocerium rod. You can tell this is actually a larger one. And this is probably one of my favorite style ones because it's so thick, first of all, so you don't have to worry about it snapping. And then you have this nice handle here, which is one of the like best handles I've found so far for actually getting good hand placement. Next to the Bear Grylls one that I used to have. I don't even know if they still produce those. But this one's one of my favorite for serum rods. Next up we have the UST water activated towelette. This is one of the larger ones, so you can go ahead and clean your whole body with this, start a fire with it, filter water with it if it's muddy water or any of that. Even signaling too. Here we have some golden snare wire. Great for shelter building. Next up we have our mini flashlight. Great to have a little something. One of my favorite pieces of the kit, Mylar's blanket, survival blanket. Every kit should have one of these. This is also one of the larger ones too, so you can end up making this into a shelter or a backing for a shelter. Say you make a fire in front of your shelter, make a wind wall for that one, and you have a lean-to. And you can just go ahead and put this up in the beams or up against the backing, and that will go ahead and reflect the heat down on you the whole entire time because the heat rises, so it's going to go up there and then it can reflect right down on you and just be kind of a cycle. Here we have our cordage and our fishing line. Next we have one of the all-time famous survival cards. Has all this in it. I've explained it so many times. So you can find, you want to pause, and then go ahead and do that. But it's just screwdrivers, wrenches, saw, and all that jazz. Just something good to have with you, especially if you need to disassemble something. And then last, we have our magnifying glass, or a little magnifying lens wrapped in a plastic sheet. So another way of starting a fire. So we have 3 ways of starting fires. We have 2 ways that, well, technically 3 ways of starting fire. 3 ways of purifying water if you use this. And yeah, it's always good to have backups, even if this survival kit is your backup. You never know what you're going to deal with out there or in any situation. So prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any input, go ahead and leave them down in the comments. Have a nice day.